Meghan and Prince Harry creates Bridgerton by having a baby boy? As Oprah Winfrey said, what? Well, we're going to talk about it when we get back. I'm CLM II for Style with Power, the channel that helps empower men through style. Happy Monday, and we hope everyone out there had a great weekend. Meghan and Prince Harry. Well, that is the talk of the town, and that's what we're going to discuss today, so stay tuned. But before we do that, this show is brought to you by the like button. So go ahead and hit that like button and hit that subscribe button because we can really use your help. Now, usually we have 3 segments in our show, but today we're only going to do 2 segments because there's so much to talk about with the interview by Oprah Winfrey of Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. And then in the last segment, which is going to be about relationships, I'm going to introduce you to a guy who many of you may know, but if you don't know, you're going to be introduced to him today. So let's start the show with hot topics and current events. Well, we all know that this week it was all about Meghan Markle and Prince Harry and the interview that they gave Oprah Winfrey. And it was a bombshell of an interview. I mean, we've been talking about it all week, and it was some interesting things that went on. And I guess the biggest thing that was said was when Meghan Markle told Oprah Winfrey about, well, you know what? Instead of me telling you, let's take a look at the interview.
In a devastating interview, a visibly pregnant Duchess of Sussex told Oprah Winfrey her royal life in London left her suicidal.
I just didn't want to be alive anymore. And that was a very clear and real and frightening, constant thought. And I remember how he just cradled me, and I went to the institution and I said that I needed to go somewhere to get help. I said that I've never felt this way before and I need to go somewhere. And I was told that I couldn't, that it wouldn't be good for the institution.
So were you thinking of harming yourself? Were you having suicidal thoughts?
Yes, this was very, very clear.
The young family sharing a video from a Californian beach. But Meghan says before she had baby Archie, there were conversations about his status in the royal family and about his race.
In those months when I was pregnant, all around this same time, so we have in tandem the conversation of he won't be given security, he's not going to be given a title, and also concerns and conversations about how dark his skin might be when he's born.
What? And you're not going to tell me who had the conversation?
I think that would be very damaging to them.
Well, what is particularly striking is what Meghan shared with us earlier, is that no one wants to admit that there's anything about race or that race has played a role in the trolling and the vitriol. What was that conversation?
That conversation I'm never going to share. But at the time it was awkward. I was a bit shocked.
Can you tell us what the question was?
No, I'm not comfortable sharing that.
Did you see Oprah's face when Meghan Markle talked about the color of baby Archie? And Oprah said, "What?" That was so funny. Hey, but it's the truth. So I began to think about, you know what? we need to have a movie. A movie needs to be made, and the movie is actually going to be it starts with Meghan Markle and Prince Harry having their baby now, and it goes all the way through the years when we get to a scene like Bridgerton. And many of you know Bridgerton because that was one of the biggest shows, one of the biggest series on Netflix this past winter. And yes, I did watch it, and I thought it was really, really great. I thought they did a fantastic job. So here is my movie treatment. For those of you out there who know anything about movies, when you put something together, when you have an idea, it's called a movie treatment. So if it hasn't been said yet, I want to be the first one to say it. This is to all the power brokers, the black power brokers in Hollywood. Let me just name a few of them. So these are strictly individuals who do producing. Producing power brokers can get something green lit, they can present it, and usually it will get done. So we're talking about individuals like Shonda Rhimes. Shonda Rhimes, of course, we all know her. She is the creator and the executive producer of Bridgerton. Will Packer, Deborah Martin Chase, Reuben Cannon, Oprah Winfrey, Broderick Johnson, Roxanne Taylor, Charles D. King, Stephanie Elaine, Datari Turner, right? So those are just strictly producers, okay? Now we have those who act and produce. So those famous actors, those powerful actors in Hollywood who also are producers, and they're producing great content. Of course, number one on that list is Tyler Perry, of course. Eddie Murphy just came out with Coming to America 2. I thought it was a fantastic movie. Kevin Hart, doing some great things, has a production company that's created some great content. Will Smith and his partner James Lasseter. Spike Lee, Ice Cube, done some great things. Martin Lawrence, Forrest Whitaker, done some great content, and of course, the greatest actor of them all, Mr. Denzel Washington. So these are people that can get this treatment done, and you definitely want to do a movie. So I'm quite sure I'm not the only one that's coming with a treatment, but here is my treatment. So right now, the royals have told Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, his wife, that they are no longer going to be a part of the day-to-day business of the royal family. So they are free to do whatever they want to do. And that they're not going to have any security that's coming from the royal family. So they'll have to do everything on their own. They make their own money. They have their own security. So this is the story. This is the movie treatment. They leave. They go to California. Now I'm looking for this to be a comedy. You know, no drama. Let's have some fun. Let's have a great time. So playing Meghan Markle, the older Meghan Markle, because what's going to happen is that we're going to go from now to 20 years from now. So Meghan Markle will be 20 years older, Prince Harry will be 20 years older. So playing the 20 years older individual of Meghan Markle will be Jada Pinkett Smith or someone like her, right? She'll be the mother. The father will be played by Will Ferrell. Will Ferrell will do a great job as an older Prince Harry. That would be great. Now, baby Archie, who will grow up and be 20 years older, can be played by somebody like Trevor Noah. We all love Trevor Noah. You know, he could be a 20 to 25-year-old guy. You know, he's a little older than that, but he could play that guy. But if not him, then someone like him, a funny guy, Trevor Noah. His unborn sister, who will probably be named, let's just say, be named after her great-grandmother, Queen Elizabeth. So we'll name the unborn young lady Elizabeth. And of course, you know, because she has black in her, you know, she'll have to change that. She don't want to go around with the name of Elizabeth, so she'll probably change it to something like Lizzo, right? She'll be Lizzo as she gets older, right? She'll be played by that young actor Zendaya. Zendaya's growing up. She's doing a fantastic job. So we got Trevor Noah, who's going to be Archie. Of course, he's not going to use the name Archie. I don't even know anybody named Archie. You know, Archie was a comic book character. And I've only known one person in my lifetime named Archibald, and that was Tiny Archibald, who is a Hall of Fame basketball player. He used to play for the Boston Celtics. That's only two I know. The comic book person and Tiny Archibald. So you know that young Archie is probably going to change his name because he got swag. He's going to have swag. He has black in him. He'll have some swag. He'll change it like Arch or Art, something like that. He'll change that. Those two. So we got Trevor Noah, Zendaya, Jada Pinkett Smith, Will Ferrell, or some people like that. Megan's mother will be played by Whoopi Goldberg. I think Whoopi do a great job. Megan's best friend or really good friend, Serena, right, tennis player, will be played by Tiffany Haddish. And she'll be on the tennis court. You know, Tiffany has that great athletic looking body. She can play Serena Williams. She'll take off her wig and do something crazy. And it'll just be a fun picture. And the whole premise is that the two kids will grow up. As they get older, the blackness will come out of them. And we all know that black mothers will not allow their children not to have what is rightfully theirs. So as the kids are growing up, their mother is telling them over and over again that you are part of the royal family and that you should rightfully get what should be coming to you as a part of the royal family. The kids grow up. One is 20, the other one is 19. One is in their first year of college, the other one is graduating from high school, 18, 19, graduating from high school, and they both decide to take a gap year. And what are they going to do in that gap year? They're leaving America and they're going back to England. And just can you imagine? They're going back to England and they walk up to the palace and the guards are out there and they try to walk through and the guards say, halt. And they're like, yo, I'm a part of the family. I'm Arch. This is Lizzo. And then the plot begins. And it's just a funny plot. I can see Will Ferrell and Whoopi Goldberg, just making some great jokes. So that's the treatment. And I haven't even thought about the characters for the royal family, but I'm quite sure that could be done. Okay, so there you go. You heard it from CLM II first, that should be done because, hey, we got to make light of all of this. And as I said, we know that Meghan Markle, no matter what the royal family has done and said, she's not going to allow her kids not to reap the benefits of being a royal. And as they're growing up, she will tell them over and over again, you are a royal and you should make sure you look out for yourself and get what's rightfully yours, which is to get that fortune that's over there in England because your dad is a prince. And children of a prince should get what they need. And just imagine when the kids go back to England, they say, hey, we're here to see, their great-grandmother may be gone by that time, so guess what? Their grandfather will be king. Yo, we're here to see the king, right? We had the gospel song playing in the background, Take Me to the King. I guess that's Tyler Perry. All right, there you go. I'm making myself crack up. So that's my treatment, and that is Hot Topics and Current Events. So now we're going to do the segment called, What Should I Do in This Situation? So usually, during this time, I usually tell you a story of something that was emailed to me about some crazy situation in a relationship, or someone, told me, and I'll just convey it to you and I'll ask you a question. Instead of doing that this week, I've decided to introduce you to an individual who you may or may not know. Now, how did I find out about this individual? Every week since the pandemic started, I create a family Zoom call. And this is for us to stay together and keep in contact with each other. So every week we all come together on this Zoom call and we have a great time. And one of my cousins on the Zoom call said to me, "You remind me of Kevin Samuels." And I said, "Who is Kevin Samuels?" Now, to put the whole thing in perspective, I come from a family full of women. I am the only boy and I have 6 sisters, plus my mother, right? I have 3 women cousins. I have 2 women aunts. So I grew up around all these women. And sometimes there were men around, but most of the time there wasn't. So when they said, "You remind me of Kevin Samuels," I think it was because I was wearing some glasses. I wear these glasses every now and then. And I think the glasses, kind of reminded them of him. So they said, "Oh, he talks about relationships and, he's kind of crazy and all that type of stuff." So as soon as I hung up from the Zoom call, I went on YouTube to look up Kevin Samuels. And let me just say to you that his content is mesmerizing. I was hooked. I gotta say the young man has great content and his subject matter, outstanding. So Kevin Samuels calls himself an image consultant, and this is what he has been doing. But he talks a lot about Black women and their relationships. And you know what? Let me introduce you to Kevin Samuels.
For those who don't know, my name is Kevin Samuels. I'm a personal and corporate image consultant. I spent 20 plus years in corporate America in business to business sales. Went from inside sales to national account manager. Background is chemical engineering. Long, complicated story, but the net of it is my job is to help men become the best version of themselves, look good, smell great, and be your best each and every day. That's very high level. So basically, I'm a look style coach because after the appearance, see, when people think about image, they think it's just appearance. It's actually A, B, C, D. Appearance, behavior, communication, and digital footprint. Once you look the part, you still got to know how to behave, how to communicate, and how to look online. And that's where the longer videos, the longer content tends to happen. And when I speak on colleges or universities or go out to speak with a company doing soft skills training or whatever, usually a part of the keynote speech has something to do with the behavior and communication part. One of the reasons I focus there is one, because my career, like I said, college, white collar, corporate salesperson. And if you want to get to the top, you have to separate yourself from the crowd. And one of the things is high value men determine who high value men are. There has to be a resource component. There has to be a money amount. I mean, like I said, you can't be high value and homeless. Mm-hmm. So you have to be able to make the money. You also have to have it be consistent over a long period of time. You can have a great season. Anybody can be Jeremy Lin, but you're not going to get to the Hall of Fame. Then you have to have a network, and then it has to be confirmed by other people. Generally, we use as a ballpark, like making $10,000 a month. That ticks a lot of people off because that puts a very hard line. But the top 10% of earners in this country make that $100,000 or more. But that's where you tend to hear a lot of people tend to focus. Now, that's a barrier to entry. Is it hard? No. What net is a high value man is, do you have high value friends? Do you have a high value mindset? Or do you have a high value network? And are you being used? Yes, you should be used because you are useful. It's almost impossible to be high value and useless. So that's why we kind of focus on this whole high value thing, because it is a bar that needs to be pushed. It needs to be rare. It needs to be hard to get to. And it needs to be more than money, because if you just said it was all about money, then anybody with a bunch of money could be high value. But we know that's not true. Well, one of the biggest things outside of the weight, fitness. Fitness is just a standard requirement of all men. Like you said, don't confuse short-term access with long-term commitment. When I talk about getting a high-value man, I even try to turn it to getting a high-value husband because people are equating the two. Then the second one, this one's going to hurt. No children. 51% of black men are single and childless. 64% of them are in the middle class. We've been told that, all these other things, but if a man doesn't have children, he doesn't want to necessarily raise another man's children. I say, ladies, understand. Women tell men what you think they deserve by your looks and your weight. So what are you telling men what you think they deserve? So the looks, the lack of children, and then here's the other thing. We talk about femininity, beauty, inspiration, all that. Really, it's cooperation. Men just want you to be cooperative. Can you work with me? Work with me. And that's what more than anything else. Now, I say women are great if they're feminine, beautiful, and inspirational. I have a higher standard because I feel like that if you want the best, you should be the best. You should not want a man who is a master of the universe and he's just getting he has to work to become that. Are you an appropriate reward or appropriate prize for that catch? Let me see if I can shorten it down. Ladies, are you going into your relationships with men in good faith?
That's Kevin Samuels. And you've seen some of the clips where he kind of talks about what he has been doing, and he talks about black women and black men and the things that they need to understand in order for them to get some of the things that they want. And what he's basically saying is that a lot of things that black women and black men want, they're never going to get. And they're delusional. And once they come to grips and understand where they are, they should be satisfied and be happy on where they are. I totally agree. And one thing I like about the young man is that he not only says things, but he has facts to back it up. And because I come out of the educational field for the last 20 years, I definitely understand what it means to go out and do research, right? You do your research and you convey the facts. So I definitely recommend that you go out and you check out Kevin Samuels. In the description, I'm going to leave a link to those clips so you can go check him out. I am a fan of his. I've been watching him. I love when he goes one-on-one and he talks to young ladies and he tries to tell them that, hey, a high-valued man is not looking for a woman with kids. Why, if I'm making all this money, why would I want to be with a woman who has children? I'm not looking to be a stepdad. And as soon as I discipline your child, you're coming at me. That makes sense. I'm not saying that a woman with children can't find a man. You can find a man, but you may not be able to find that man. And I definitely agree with him when he says that women control the sex, men control the relationships. Absolutely agree with that. Because if this woman here wants this man, right, she can go after him, but he's going to make a decision whether he wants to be in a relationship with her or not. If he doesn't want to be in a relationship with her, he walks away. And then she'll have to find someone else. But listen, go check him out. Look at the statistics. It's all there. Highly educated gentleman. Has been out there and he's really created a nice niche for himself. And Kevin, I'll truly say, I'll back you up. I like what you're doing. And I know it can be hard on some people, but that's life. Well, that's it for this week. And listen, this show was brought to you by the like button and the subscribe button. I really can use your help. Hit that subscribe button for me. We're up to 125 subscribers, and I'm looking to at least hit the 200 mark as quickly as possible so we can celebrate having 200. And it's a slow process, but if you can share this video with others and let others know about the stuff that we're doing here at Style with Power. I have a whole bunch of different videos. I talk about a whole bunch of different subjects, and I try to empower my men as much as I possibly can, and at the same time empower all people as much as I possibly can. You know, give me a thumbs up and give me a like so that we can grow the channel as much as we can. All right? I will see you next time.